What's up guys, and welcome back. Today's tutorial is going to be on how to cut a princess bustier. I've done a post on how to cut a princess dart before, so if you've not watched that video, kindly go down to the description box. I'll leave a link to that video there. So a princess bustier is more like a bustier that was carved into a princess dart. So that is why I really encourage you to watch the tutorial on how to cut a princess dart, because it will help you understand how to cut a princess bustier better. Without further ado, let's jump into the tutorial. But if you've not seen my face before, like this is the first time you're seeing my face, hi, I'm Ada. I'm a sewing and a lifestyle blogger based in Nigeria, and I put up posts on sewing tips, tricks and tutorials to help your sewing journey better. So if you want to see more of these videos, please click the subscribe button and the notification bell so that whenever I post a video, you get notified. Now let's jump into the tutorial.
So I'm starting with a pair of scissors, a pack of pin, a tailor's chalk and a transparent ruler. My fabric is already folded into two, so at the other end of the fabric I took 1.5 inches for my zip allowance, and I did that through the entire length of the fabric. Then I connected my markings with a straight line. When I was done with that, I folded the zip allowance and secured it with the pin. You would want to straighten your zip allowance. You would want to make it relaxed while folding it, because if it's not relaxed it will affect the final outcome of the zip allowance. It just has this thing it does to the dress when it's not well laid. It gives room for minor errors. When I was done with that, I now folded my fabric into two again, making it taking it into four places. Like it was folded into two before, I folded into two again, representing the four sections of the body. From the center, I took my neck width at 4.5 inches and my neck depth at 4.5 inches. And I connected with not a straight line, don't mind me. I did this very beautiful curve to make sure the neckline comes out beautiful. Then I went ahead to take my shoulder line measurement and I took it at 8.5 inches. From my shoulder line point, I took my armhole downwards at 8 inches. Then from my shoulder, I took my shoulder to bust point measurement at 10 inches. Not bust point actually, from my shoulder to nipple point measurement at 10 inches. Then I also took my shoulder to under bust point at 13.5 inches. At this point, I was struggling to get this fabric in place. It just kept moving. Then from the center of my fabric, I took my nipple to nipple point measurement at 6.5 inches. I did that at the shoulder to bust point. I also did that at the shoulder to under bust point. Like, I finally had to pin it because it was just disturbing me. Then at the hem of my blouse, I also took my nipple to nipple point measurement, and this is because I always want my measurement to be precise. I don't want room for errors. Then I connected it with a straight line. From my shoulder to nipple point I drew the princess dart line. Then from my under bust point, I took 3/4 of an inch on one side and I took 3/4 of an inch on the other side. Then I proceeded to the hem of my blouse and took 3/4 of an inch on one side and did the same for the other side too. Like I said, I always do this so I will have precise measurements all the way, like all the way through. After I was done with this, I connected it with a straight line. Now here's the kicker for the princess bustier. You will draw something that looks like a triangle from the under bust point and kiss it into your shoulder to nipple point, more like trying to form a cup or trying to, like, you just do that. You know how you cut a normal bustier, so you just try and fit it into the princess cut. Okay, so for my under bust, I drew a triangle and merged it into my shoulder to nipple point if there's any word like that. Then from my armhole, I went about an inch downwards and drew another line that represented my princess dart, and I did this to ensure the cup formed appropriately, like the bustier sat in well appropriately. When I was done with that, I cut my neckline and I cut my shoulder line and my armhole. Then it was time to cut my princess cut. I just followed the lines I've made, the markings I've made, and I cut through. But when you're cutting, you don't cut the 4 parts through, no, you raise 2 layers of the folded fabric up representing the front bodice, and you cut only that. You don't cut, I didn't cut the whole 4 parts together, no, I raised 2 layers up and I cut it. And that's because you can't cut a bustier for the back, you have to only cut the bustier for the front. sometimes I like to flip it to the other side so that I'll have same notch at the needed points, because I realize that sometimes I might just drift by an inch or not up to an inch, and it will affect the overall outcome of the dress. So you could still cut it the way it is, but sometimes I just like to do it like this. Now I was done with that, I just followed through to the armhole. At this point, I realized I had not cut the other end of my fabric open, so I just did that so I'll be able to separate my front bodice from my back bodice. So the thing with cutting a princess bustier or even a princess dart in normal days, your front body helps you cut your back bodies. Like, you almost don't do anything when it comes to cutting your back bodies. You just have to like trace a bit, just trace it back into, like, trace it on the back bodies and adjust it a bit, and there you go, you cut and take away every excess you would want to take off. So that was just what I did here. I shifted a bit away from the actual measurement of the front bodies, and I just traced the form on the back bodies. When I was done with that, I cut through. And I separated the front from the back. So when it comes to the back, you don't just leave the back bodies like that. Like I said in the other video, there's this excess you take off from the back, and this helps the princess that relax well on the back, because our backs are not exactly straight. So there's this excess we normally take off to help it relax. So that's what I did here. And the thing is, if you are used to cutting a princess that, you will just see where the excess is. So I just did that, and I'm cutting through to take away the excess. I think the princess that is more like the simplest that to cut, because it doesn't involve so much if you understand what I mean. And it's ready.
If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and if you have questions or suggestions or anything you want to say, leave it in the comment section, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and on Facebook. You can make suggestions for posts on Facebook, so every reason why you should be following me. And I'll see you soon. Bye.